Dawn breaks over the Serengeti. The first rays of sunlight sweep across the plains, painting each blade of dry grass in gold. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying the cool scent of earth and the traces of life. A herd of Thompson's gazelles moves slowly through the grass. They pause to graze but never fully relax. Their ears flick constantly. Heads jerk up at every sound. Out here, every moment can flip the balance between life and death. Nala, a full-grown lioness, lies flat in the tall grass. Her body is solid and powerful, broad shoulders. Her tail flicks gently in rhythm with the wind, eyes locked, unblinking, ears aimed forward. She's too far from the gazelles to act, but close enough to watch. There's no hunt happening now. Every movement in her body signals something else. Patrol. Observation. A lioness within her own territory often takes on the role of sentinel, quietly guarding her home. Elsewhere, just a few miles away, on the branch of an old tree, a dappled golden shape blends into the bark. Zuri, the leopard. She doesn't move. No twitch of the tail. No shifting of weight. Her yellow eyes scan the ground below, where a small group of impalas edges closer to a patch of fresh grass. The distance is perfect. The wind is on her side, but still, no action. Leopards are ambush hunters. From above, they wait, sometimes for hours, just to strike at the perfect moment. Zuri remains still. The time hasn't come. On more open ground, where the wind stirs up dust across the savannah, a slender silhouette stands tall. Amani, the cheetah, all four paws planted firmly, her head low, eyes fixed on a distant herd of Thompson's gazelles. She doesn't move, but her muscles are drawn tight, coiled like springs. Unlike lions or leopards, cheetahs don't rely on perfect cover. Instead, they hold nature's ultimate weapon, speed. When the right target appears, they don't need stealth. They launch. In just a few seconds, they close the distance and bring their prey down. But right now, Amani waits. The timing isn't right. Three predators, 3 adult females, each one with her own strategy for survival. Nala, strength and territory. Zuri, silence and precision. Amani, speed and opportunity. They don't cooperate, they don't directly compete, but they coexist within a delicate ecosystem where every mistake can come with a deadly price. A few years earlier, under the shade of an acacia tree, a pride of lions lounges in the midday heat. Among the adults, a few cubs tumble, chase, and climb, restless and wild. One cub is smaller than the rest, her body still soft, but her eyes follow every move of the older ones. This is Nala, before she became a queen. She pounces awkwardly, misses her mark, claws at the grass in clumsy play. But every leap is practice. Every failed pounce builds the instincts she'll one day need to survive. Midday. The air is hot, dry, cloudless. The pride rests in scattered clusters around the tree. Suddenly, a sound rises in the distance, shrill, harsh, unmistakable. It isn't insects, it isn't birds. It's hyenas. Instantly, the lions change. The adult females rise, ears pricked, eyes scanning the grassland. Hyena laughter is more than noise. It's a warning. It signals presence and intent. Hyenas move in packs. They swarm around food or attack directly when they outnumber the competition. Gray shapes appear on the horizon. They don't sneak. They don't hesitate. They walk straight toward the lion's ground. The lionesses snarl, a clear warning. But the hyenas keep coming. Then they spread out, forming a wide arc. A familiar tactic. Confuse, distract, divide. Find the weak point. One hyena breaks formation, sprinting toward the cubs. In an instant, the lionesses react. Paws slash. Roars rip through the air. Dust explodes as bodies collide. The plains erupt into chaos. Claws tearing, teeth snapping, cries echoing into the wind. Nala stands near a bush, her eyes wide, her body trembling. She's never seen anything like this. She's too small to fight, but she can feel it. Pressure, danger, one wrong move, and you're gone. Another hyena circles from the side. It's headed straight for her. The distance is short. It crouches low, locks eyes with her. It's going to strike, but before it can leap, an adult lioness crashes in from the flank. No roar. Just one thunderous tackle, and the hyena goes flying. Nala bolts from the spot, instinct taking over. No one told her what to do. She didn't need it. Survival is in her blood. The battle ends. No serious injuries. But the lesson lingers. From that day on, Nala plays less. She watches more. She moves with the pride, learning to read the wind, to listen for warning calls, to track footprints in the dust. Her body starts to change. Stronger, sharper. Then, another turning point. Mating season. Two young, powerful males enter the area. They challenge the old males in a brutal fight. It's over in less than an hour. The old kings are driven out. The pride loses its defenders. And, by nature's rule, new males will often kill any cubs not fathered by them, to force the females back into heat. It's how their bloodline takes over. Nala and the other cubs are now in danger. Some lionesses run, trying to save their young. Others stay and lose everything. Nala has no one to protect her. She's not fast enough to escape, not strong enough to fight, not chosen to remain. One muggy morning, with the dew barely faded, Nala walks away from the pride. No destination, no plan, just one truth. Staying means death. Across the vast Serengeti, she becomes what few lions survive long as: alone. No territory, no allies, no stored food. Each step she takes marks the beginning of a real fight for survival. In the wild, a young lion cast out from its pride has a slim chance of making it, but some do, and those who survive become legends. As the sun sets, wind rustles through the thorny acacia. A night heron calls from afar. Gazelles shift in the dusk. And a lone lioness walks on, slowly, carefully, but she doesn't stop. A young lioness cast out from her pride. No territory, no steady food source, no protection from others of her kind. Most young females that break away don't last more than a few weeks. With little experience, little strength, and no rank in the harsh hierarchy of the wild, they disappear fast. But Nala keeps moving, not because she's strong, but because instinct won't let her stop. The sun scorches overhead, burning through her thin coat. She follows faint tracks, left behind by a small herd of gazelles. Her stomach growls. She lowers herself into the grass and circles wide. She picks a spot where the wind favors her. A young gazelle strays from the herd. Nala begins the stalk. Her body hugs the ground, eyes locked forward. Each paw lifts with care. Silent, she inches closer, waits. Then bursts. The gazelle senses her, folds its legs, darts away. Nala lunges but misses. She slides through the dry grass. Her claws tear into the soil, but can't hold. The gazelle vanishes into the tall brush. She stops, breathes hard. Failure. No kill, no meal. Her body grows weaker. It shows. She lies beneath a tree, barely shaded from the afternoon heat. Hours later, she gets up again. No destination. Just the urge to keep searching for any sign of life. By evening, the wind shifts. A new scent rides the air. Lion. She drops low by instinct. The breeze carries the smell of another pride, not far off. They're resting under a tree, calm, no signs of alert. Getting close to a new pride is rare and risky. But Nala approaches, slowly, silently. She lies down at a distance, watching carefully. One of the lionesses spots her. A low growl, a warning. Others begin to shift, forming a defensive line. A larger lioness breaks off, walking toward Nala. The gap closes fast. Nala doesn't run. She lowers her head. Ears down, classic signs of submission. The larger lioness growls louder and charges. But the pounce isn't meant to kill. It's a test. Nala dodges, but doesn't strike back. She stays on her feet. A typical challenge to gauge the stranger's intent and her strength. The confrontation doesn't last long. The lead lioness doesn't press the attack. No injuries, no blood, and Nala isn't chased away. That's the first sign of possible acceptance. In the days that follow, she moves with the pride, but at a distance. She doesn't fight for food, doesn't claim a role. She mostly observes how they hunt as a team, how they stand guard, how they shield their young. Lions learn by watching and mimicking. In the wild, that's survival. Eventually, Nala joins the hunts, but only on the outskirts, trailing prey, cutting off angles, forcing the chase. Each task, a test. Each success, a step toward belonging. One afternoon, strong winds carry a scent across the plains. A male lion. The pride shifts fast, forming a tight defensive circle. The cubs are pushed back. Nala takes her place beside the other lionesses. From the horizon, a massive lion approaches. Broad body, thick neck, dark mane. His posture screams dominance. He isn't hiding. He's not here to mate. This is an intruder, a threat to the pride's territory. The lionesses raise their warning calls. The male roars back. He strides straight toward the cubs. His intent is clear: eliminate any offspring that aren't his. The attack begins. The male charges. The lionesses respond in unison, striking from the sides, the shoulders, the spine. Every swipe, every bite is part of a synchronized defense. Lionesses rarely fight alone. Nala joins the front line. She leaps onto the male's neck from behind, forcing him off balance. He thrashes, taking a deep gash to the shoulder. Blood flows, but he's outmatched. Numbers and coordination work against him. After a few minutes, he backs off. His posture changes. Less aggressive, more uncertain, he turns away from the cubs. Defeat, the fight ends. The cubs are safe, and Nala, once the outsider, is now shoulder to shoulder with seasoned warriors. Through her actions, her posture, and her courage, Nala has become more than just tolerated. She's become essential. Maturity doesn't arrive in a single moment. It's built piece by piece, through hunts, through instincts, through cooperation, and through social bonds. As the sun dips behind the horizon, Nala lies among the lionesses, surrounded by cubs now sleeping in peace. No trace remains of the lone wanderer, only a lioness who has learned, adapted, and earned her place. Rebirth isn't a miracle, it's a slow, relentless process, shaped by fire, failure, and instinct, and Nala has made it through. Among the thick branches at the edge of the Serengeti woodlands, a shadow lies perfectly still. No movement, no sound, just golden spots melting into the bark. Fooling both eyes and instinct. This is Zuri, a full-grown female leopard. Below her, a herd of impalas grazes peacefully. They have no idea a predator is watching from above. The distance is just right. One leap could end it. But Zuri waits. Not a branch shifts. Not a breath escapes. Leopards are masters of disappearance. They don't need speed like a cheetah. They don't need a team like a lion. They need just one thing: the perfect moment. A young impala drifts from the herd. It moves slower, less aware. Zuri shifts her weight. Muscles coil tight, like a spring pulled to the edge. Her tail curls. Eyes lock in, and then she drops. The leap is silent. Only the rustle of leaves in the wind. Her hind legs land first, power launching forward. The young impala barely turns before it's slammed to the ground. Claws hook the neck, jaws clamp the windpipe. No cry, no struggle. Zuri holds still, waiting for the stillness of death. Leopards never rush. The kill must be complete. Quick and quiet. But she doesn't eat here. With a practiced grip, she bites into the neck and begins to drag the body through the grass toward the trees. And then she climbs. Powerful, precise jumps carry both her and the carcass upward. On a thick branch high above, she sets the kill down. Up here it's safe, out of reach of hyenas, lions, and thieves. No fighting, no sharing. This meal is hers, earned through patience and precision. But Zuri doesn't eat just yet. She moves across the canopy to another limb. There, tucked in the leaves, is a small bundle of fur, a leopard cub, too young to leave the tree, too slow to escape, but old enough to learn. Zuri lies beside it, silent. She watches the forest floor. The breeze is still light. No movement below, but the scent of blood may have traveled. She remains alert. Hours pass. Then the wind shifts, and a foul stench rises through the branches. Hyenas. Zuri rises, ears forward, body lowered. She doesn't call out, doesn't panic. Instead, she positions herself on a branch closer to the ground. A pack of hyenas slinks beneath the tree. They haven't seen the kill, but they've caught its scent. They fan out. One moves toward the base of Zuri's tree. Another climbs a nearby trunk. Its path, dangerously close to the sleeping cub. Zuri falls from this branch like a missile. She lands in front of the intruder. Dust flying. A slash across the shoulder. Claws tear flesh. The hyena screams. The others freeze. No one expected her to be up there. Zuri doesn't roar, just steps back once, eyes locked. Her stance says it all. Come closer, and I'll strike again. Another hyena steps forward, testing distance. Zuri launches, claws again. Blood hits the ground. The pack retreats, not out of fear, but because surprise is gone. Zuri doesn't chase, she doesn't kill for sport, she just needs them gone. Once the threat has passed, Zuri climbs back. The cub hasn't moved. Learning to stay hidden, lesson 1 for a leopard's life. Zuri joins it in silence, no extra gestures. Every motion has meaning. The next morning, Zuri brings her cub close to a grazing herd of gazelles. Not to hunt, to observe. She crouches low. The cub follows. They don't attack. They learn how to read the wind. Listen for warning sounds. Spot the weak. Avoid the strong. No teaching. No talking. The cub learns through watching, through stillness, through tiny mistakes. When the sun climbs high, they return to the tree. Zuri climbs first. The cub scrambles after. A single branch. Home, table, fortress. For leopards, life is lived above ground. Below belongs to the stronger. Zuri doesn't need an audience. She doesn't need a crown. But every step she takes, every cub she defends, every meal hanging high in the branches, is proof of a quiet, fierce life. While the ground below echoes with snarls, fights, and stolen prey, Zuri remains above, silent in the shadows, a queen who never needed to roar to be heard. On a bare mound rising above the sun-scorched grassland, a slender silhouette stands frozen. Amani, a fully grown female cheetah. Her ears flick, her eyes sweep across the plains below. A herd of Thompson's gazelles grazes just over 200 feet away. The wind is in her favor, but there's no cover here, no shade, just dry grass, open ground, and a gap that can only be closed with speed. Cheetahs can't launch attacks from afar. They must get close, then strike. Amani begins to move, low and light, step by step, each motion balanced between visibility and wind direction. One gazelle calf, smaller and slower, has drifted a few yards from the herd. Amani stops. She lowers her body tight to the ground. Tail still, eyes locked. Distance 65 meters. The wind holds steady. She explodes forward. In the first 2 seconds, she hits nearly 45 miles per hour. The air splits behind her. The earth shakes beneath her paws. Dust spirals with every pounding step. Her speed climbs. 55, 56, over 65 miles per hour. Each stride nearly 23 feet long. The gap closes. 10 meters, 6, 4, one final lunge, direct hit. Her claws dig into the gazelle's side, dragging both bodies into the dirt. The prey kicks, briefly, then a crushing bite to the neck. Silence. Amani doesn't eat yet. Her chest heaves. Lungs straining from the high-speed chase. This is her only hunt today. Maybe for days. Cheetahs can't hunt back to back. Each burst drains enormous energy. She needs to rest before she can eat. But then, an unwelcome sound. Sharp, mocking laughter rolls in from a distance. Hyenas. They emerge from the brush, bold, unhidden. They don't need speed. They have numbers. Amani lets out a low growl. But it's not enough. The hyenas keep coming. She stands over her kill, back arched, tail low. One hyena steps forward, fearless. Steady, Amani meets its gaze, then steps back, not from fear, but because she has no other choice. She has no claws like a lion, can't climb like a leopard. Her only weapon is speed, and right now, speed means nothing. The hyenas close in. They tear into the kill within minutes. Amani stands just a few yards away, still. Then, she turns and walks away. No sound. No growl, no fight, only retreat. The only option left. An hour later, she returns to the shelter. Two cheetah cubs wait silently in the tall grass. They haven't eaten since morning. Amani lies down. They rush to her side. They don't know why she came back with nothing, but instinct keeps them close to her. The next morning, clouds hang heavy in the sky. The light is dim. The heat, still unforgiving. Amani doesn't hunt. Instead, she leads her cubs to an open patch of grass to teach, not how to strike, but how to wait. She crouches low, watching a distant herd of gazelles. The cubs mimic her. They're clumsy. One stands up too soon. Amani doesn't correct them, doesn't interfere. Mistakes are part of the lesson. One cub breaks formation. It charges. The herd reacts instantly. Gone in a flash. The cub tumbles, legs tangled in a failed sprint. Amani doesn't move. The cub stands up, looks at her, then turns, staring at the now empty plains. No words, no scolding. The lesson is over. That afternoon, the wind shifts, the air carries dust, and something else, a predator's scent. A lioness appears at the far edge of the field. She moves slow, body low. She's not after Amani, but she's seen the cubs. Amani rises. A deep guttural growl escapes her throat. Not loud, but sharp. The cubs freeze. They don't cry. Don't run. They crouch, press close to their mother. Amani begins to retreat, not at full speed. She can't leave them behind, but she doesn't stop either. She checks behind her, constantly. Ears pinned back. A lion's roar. Closer this time. Amani veers off course into taller grass. The lioness doesn't follow, not because she's given up, but because she's lost the trail. The cheetah and her cubs hide in the shadows of the grass. No sound, no motion, only when the wind dies and the world falls still, does Amani lift her head. The cubs are still there. Trembling, but safe. Every day on the savannah is a test, not just of strength or speed, but of limits. Amani isn't built to hold territory. She can't guard her food from scavengers, but she has one advantage. She knows when to let go. In a world where every footstep is tracked, every sound could signal death. Amani has found another way to survive. Not by winning every battle, but by never losing one. As night falls, her cubs curl up beside her, nestled in her thin fur. They don't understand all that happened today. But the warmth of their mother is enough to carry them through the night. Amani doesn't sleep deeply. Her ears stay alert, eyes open every few minutes. There's no room for complacency, no such thing as true silence. And tomorrow, when the sun rises, she'll begin again, not to conquer, but simply to survive one more day. Serengeti. End of day. The sky burns with shades of red as the sun sinks behind the horizon. Its final light brushes across cracked earth, golden grass, and the bare limbs of old acacia trees. Beneath one of them, a pride's cubs play in the fading light. Nearby, a lioness rests. But her ears still turn, her eyes never stop scanning. She doesn't speak, but the cubs are learning. Learning how to become hunters. At the edge of a woodland, high on a branch, a leopard lies still. Below the canopy's shadows, a young cub stalks a tiny bird. It waits silently, just like its mother taught it. There's no pounce today, but this stillness, it's part of the lesson. Far across the open plain, two cheetah cubs run close to their mother. They're not fast enough to hunt, but they're learning how to read the wind. how to stay low, how to stop at the right moment, in a world with no trees to climb, no pride to rely on. Speed is everything, but speed alone isn't enough. 3 scenes, 3 lessons in survival. Lions teach through strength and pride structure. Leopards through patience and stealth. Cheetahs through timing and motion. Each predator has a strategy. But all of them depend on one thing: a wild, unbroken landscape. The Serengeti is changing. Some hunting grounds are already gone. The thick brush that once hid leopards cleared away. The wide open runs where cheetahs once chased prey. Now sliced by fences, gazelles struggle to move freely. Water disappears faster than before. The change isn't sudden. It comes slowly, day by day, acre by acre. And without enough space to hunt, to teach, to hide, even the strongest, the fastest, the most resilient will fade. For now, life continues. Cubs still learn to roar. Leopards still vanish into the branches. Fresh tracks still press into dry earth. The story isn't over yet, but it will end if there's no land left to carry it forward. Thank you for joining Wild Expeditions on this journey with 3 remarkable predators: the lion, the leopard, the cheetah, in a wild world that's changing every single day. If you love nature, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss what's next from the heart of the wild. And share this story to spread the love for life on Earth. To remind each other nature only survives if we let it.